Well, hello to you, one and all. As you may know, my name is Robert Kane, and I am the host of this channel, The Devil's Advocate. I've been hard at work over the holidays. A lot of things have come into play. I'm now, in the midst of trying to put a lot of things together in my life. Of course, as we know, with the changing of seasons and with the changing of, the new year, can oftentimes bring about changes, struggle, and a lot of indifference. I have to take a moment and I have to address the YouTube nation here, and I've come across this this page or this profile, this account, and it's pardon me for a second. I'm trying to shed a little bit more light on our situation here, and it's the page of it's the profile of this Tamara Magdalene. How appropriately named. Ladies and gentlemen, it never really ceased to amaze me the amount of insanity that ensues, within the social media world. Clearly what I mean by this is and a lot of you, pardon me for 1 second. I don't have the cat getting a nose. My cats are being a little bit playful today. We had to take our tree down early because, of course, anyways, getting right to the point. I don't think there's any way to really describe some of the comments within Tamara's video that she posted on Theodore Robert Bundy. I don't think there's any, and I'll be sharing it with people just for the simple, from the simple educational perspective that I want people to stay out, to watch this video that she's done, and then to fucking stay away from this woman. Purely, as you're going to listen here, folks, I want you to listen to this, okay?
One of the most important as you come down to perhaps your final hours. Are you thinking about all in its various forms on screen?
Endgame. As I mentioned in previous videos,
Movie.
today, and, their endgame. As I mentioned in previous videos, they're trying to create a super soldier army. So anytime you see any of these serial killers, is by design. Regardless of what the media tells you or what you may see on the ID channel, like this is this mysterious force of evil. No, all these serial killers are by design. So you can guarantee.
And I don't know if you guys can really get the gist of what this lady is speaking of. She really wants people to believe that the government itself, along with the aid of programs like MK, Tamara Magdalene, do you even know what the MK9? Do you know what what that fucking program was? It was a voluntary program, a volunteer. This has nothing to do with, and let me just explain this to you, everyone, simply. to say, to inject the theory that quote unquote Satanists within the government would implore the MK9 program, or as it was actually called to begin with, the MK program, is a complete adverse and a fucking insane to its utter core theory. In that, does anyone know what the MK program was? Or as it would be known in the prison system, the MK9 program. It was the use of LSD. That's right. It was the use of LSD. How do I know this? James Whitey Bulger is a perfect example of this. As you know, a lot of you know, James Whitey Bulger was one of Boston's most notorious underworld figures. Recently murdered, just this year. He took part in that program. Okay? Voluntarily, to get time cut off his sentence. But to say that any time we see these, like, quote unquote serial killers, I need you all to listen to what's being said here. I'm going to just repeat some of this absolute fucking nonsense.
Hello, this is Tamara Magdalene, and today I want to take a moment and highlight a story that's rarely discussed. I'm going to talk about Ted Bundy for a minute, the notorious serial killer, because it does tie into what's going on today and, their end game. As I mentioned in previous videos, they're trying to create a super soldier army. So anytime you see any of these serial killers, it's by design. Regardless of what the media tells you or what you may see on the ID channel, like this is this mysterious force of evil. No, all these serial killers are by design. So you can guarantee when you hear people like Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy or even the Columbine killers, this is all by design. These are satanically, ritually abused people. And if you tie back, if you go into their background, you'll see that they either have family members in the military, or they have family members in government, or they themselves are in government. In fact, the Columbine killers, those two young men, they had family members in the military. John Wayne Gacy, of course, was in politics. Ted Bundy, he had a high IQ. He was in a high echelon in his class in college, and that.
Tamara, where do you get your facts from? Where do you get these facts from? That Theodore Robert Bundy was of such a high IQ, and he was in the upper echelon of his class. This is why he quit his very first year of law school, right? Because he was so smart. Because he was so fucking smart. He dropped out of his first year in law school in the state of Washington. I don't fucking understand. I don't understand. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to keep watching this. All right, you got to keep listening. I wish I had it. I'm going to have to do another video on this. You got to listen to this stupidity.
That's not by accident. So we're going to get into that. First, I'm going to briefly go over what happened with Ted Bundy that they do not want to talk about. But it is on record. They don't want to talk about in the media, but it's something that truly happened. Detectives have come forward and talked about this. Prison guards came forward, talked about this. So let's get into it. They do not want to discuss the final hours of Ted Bundy because in the final moments he was spent agonizing over why he became the monster he was. This is something they do not discuss. Prison guards talked about how he cried relentlessly, pleading, and wondering why he was the way he was. In fact, the detective handling the case said that he kept asking him, begging him, like, why am I this way? Repeatedly.
Okay. I can't listen to any more of this. Tamara, you don't know me very well, and this video is, by the way, to all of you, feel free to check out my newest channel, Darkest Eyes, with a Z. You'll find some very, very awesome videos on there. Probably some of the best work I've done when it comes to serial homicide. My other channel, as you guys might know of, is RBRT613. I've got a few videos on there that rank in the thousands, and quite a few likes on there. To all those who subscribed, thank you very much. Tamara, what you're saying is completely lifeless. It is such a fucking insane theory. It's not even a theory. It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Right up into his death, he was given a tape recorder. And if you have ever come across those audio, that audio footage, that audio, it's not up into the moment where, him and Bob Keppel part ways, and he's taken for preparation. This is what they do before, of course, you're actually delivered to the execution chambers. Of course, you're given a chance to shower. They have to give you a haircut and a few other not so very nice things. Here's the deal. To say that these people are designed, I might be into the consensus to agree on that basis alone. But to fucking say that our government produces these people, and knowingly lets them operate on their own accord, and the way you're almost making it sound is as if, you're very double-sided here. You're swinging a cat around a fucking room where there's, just too many sickos here. Too many clowns, not enough circuses. And I'm sorry, Tamara, you're the biggest fucking fool of all to think that, the likes of Dennis Rader, who was, again, he was a by-law patrol officer, We could say John Wayne Gacy was involved in politics. Abso-fucking-lutely. Tamara, there's something that I'm going to need you to research on, and just, I'm actually going to post a link to that one video, and it's Dr. Charles Hare. Okay. Did you know that Ed Kemper Humphrey could recall, since basically the time that he was a young teenager, having the sexual liking for prepubescent males. Not females, males. The same thing would come to attest to Mr. John Wayne Gacy. To say that you do not believe, and this is why I find your name so absolutely funny, Tamara Magdalene, friends with Jesus. It's a fucking joke. I mean, you're absolutely insane to think that someone would go about their life, you know, being brought up in some kind of... Now, and don't get me wrong, do not get me wrong. I'm aware of the evils of this world and that of man. And that, Tamara, is the key focus here. That is the key focus. The media and man's wanting to glorify, dominate, and to just downright fucking glamorize these individuals. Tamara, you are one of those people. You are one of those people. I think you're disgusting. To try and put this garbage out there. I think you're absolutely a disgusting human being. How I'd love 2 minutes with a wet towel and you in a fucking room by myself. You don't understand truly that there are forces at work in this world that really have nothing to do with the government or anything. I'll leave this video by saying to everyone who comes across Tamara's page, and it's a very, very infamous and famous quote. Sisters and brothers, believe her not, for she was a liar from the beginning. Don't listen to fucking anything in this. To everyone that's even subscribed to this god-awful individual's channel, please unsubscribe. You don't have to become fellow friends of mine. I do what I do because I love doing what I do. But please, you know, use your time with a lot more purpose than watching bullshit like this. To everyone here, my name is Robert Kane. I am the host of both The Devil's Advocate and Darkest Eyes Kane, where you can find the utmost in Ted Bundy content. And also, be aware that I'll be starting a series on the Gainesville Ripper and also BTK, followed thus by Gary Leon Ridgway. So, you know, please, I look forward to your comments, good or bad, your subscriptions or otherwise. But Tamara, you need to have your fucking head examined by a shrink, and perhaps you need to get out more. Yeah, what else can I say? Anyways, I've given you enough publicity here. I need a stiff drink after, you know. And by the way, I'm not the only one that, you know, anyway. Peace.